What's going on, everyone? This is City Wrestling Radio, October 24th, 2022. That's right. We're back full. 720p is somewhat HD, right? At least at one point it was considered HD.
Yeah.
And it's probably somewhere between 720p and 1080p, but we're back in video. I'm your host, Korey Smith, being joined, as always, by my co-host, my main roster mate, and yours, Mr. Jose Ocegueda.
Hey everybody, how are you doing? Mr. Smith, how are you doing? I like to keep the NPR voice from previous weeks, but since we're doing video, it doesn't translate.
No.
So, hello everyone.
And, that awesome theme song we have provided by whatever the name of that great artist who did it that I put in the description below for legal purposes. Sometimes it's just so great, it drowns us out, and we don't want that to happen. We'll let them know we're here. But anyways, thank you. I'm good. It's been a long week of wrestling. I actually, weirdly enough, I got caught up in watching Superstars 94 all week.
Superstars 94. Now, what is that?
WWF Superstars 1994 on Peacock. I just, for some reason, I wanted to get into the history of, remember when The Undertaker vanished? And then there was like sightings of The Undertaker. Like, oh my God, Undertaker! Like some little kid saw him on a slide. And then you see a picture of on their slide. He's like,
It was like Bigfoot walk.
Yeah, pretty much. Exactly. And I wanted to kind of get into that. And I started watching like one episode, like right after the Royal Rumble, right after he lost a casket match to, I believe, Yokozuna.
Right.
And I just got so intrigued by the show. Like, the Quebecers, they're awesome. Brett's the Hitman Hart's like early 1994 promos are just so they're different, because you see him, he's sitting there, he's like, Owen, what you did to the family, that's not nice, and come this Saturday, I'm gonna take you out. And I'm really hurt by this because you hurt the family, Owen.
It was a different time, yeah.
It was a different time. But anyways, we're not here to talk about Superstars 1994. We're here to talk about this week in pro wrestling, because this week Black Adam hit box office to extremely mixed reviews. The reign of King Xavier and Queen Zelina may soon be coming to an end. And I'm going to run down your Halloween Havoc 2022 report. But
I gave it a quick speed watch.
A little speed watch, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
But before we get into all of that, please take a quick second to click the like, subscribe, comment down below. Leave us a quick comment if you have a minute. It really does help out the show, and it helps us, and what helps us helps you. So, like I said last week, help us help you, because we want you to get better at life. It's kind of a self-help thing, I believe. Like, you ever see those commercials for like BetterHelp?
Of course, yeah.
They'll just have like some random person with really choppy video playing, chopping together some 50-page essay they wrote down to 30 seconds.
Yeah, a lot of like shared footage.
Exactly. But help us help you. Click down like below. And also, if you like City Wrestling Radio so much, if you really want to give us money, go check out our merch store. The link is down below. Anyways, let's get into it. Black Adam, Jose.
Yes. Have you watched it? No, I have not.
No, I haven't seen it either. But this weekend, it just came out.
Yeah, this past weekend, yeah.
I'm not one of those people anymore that is like, for a while, I was seeing the movies like the Thursday, like 7 p.m. showing that they came out. You know what I mean? Deadpool, Deadpool 2, the Star Wars sequels. Are they called sequels?
I think it's just sequels.
Okay. Well, I was, doing the Thursday night releases for those, but after the pandemic, I'm good. It's too exhausting now.
And we got a little spoiled, right? Everything was being served to us at our living rooms.
Exactly. So the highly anticipated Black Adam starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson hit theaters this weekend, debuting at number 1 at the box office charts for this weekend, bringing in $67 million domestically. Internationally, the movie brought in another $73 million, bringing the grand total of a global weekend box office opening number to $140 million globally. So this officially brings Black Adam to The Rock's biggest theatrical release ever.
Wow.
So first
Ever?
off, yeah,
Better than Walking Tall?
better than
kidding
Walking
me?
Tall, and I believe, was it The Tooth Fairy?
The Tooth Fairy, yeah.
But despite the success of the movie, critics pretty much trashed the movie, with some calling it the worst movie ever. Which,
Ouch. Come on, I doubt that.
well, I'll get into it. On Rotten Tomatoes, Black Adam scored a 90% on their audience score rating, which, with, superhero movies, they do a lot of times score high. Not so much DC movies. Marvel movies more so than DC movies. But then also managed to score a 39% on the Tomato Meter, which is a score based on critic reviews and their scores.
Yeah.
Which was down another 1% from a couple days. So it's still falling at this point. It could be, by the time this video upload, it could be 38.9.
Yeah.
It could be down an extra 0.1%. I don't know at this point.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, San Francisco Chronicle's own Mike LaSalle said, Black Adam does not even deserve a bad review. Because a bad movie would be too kind. It would be implied that Black Adam is an actual movie.
Ouch.
Yeah, LaSalle goes on to say Black Adam is not an easy story to follow, especially as it creates no desire to follow it. The basic plot seems fairly simple, though convoluted and wholly lacking in interest.
Wow. I did hear that The Rock had a little bit of a dry performance, but I think the character is supposed to be dry. I wasn't a big fan of Black Adam comics, so I don't know what type of character he is, but dry?
Well, I was kind of hoping Rock would
Rock?
have. I was kind of hoping Rock would have. Black Adam had hair.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, no, nah, he had hair. It's not like he had like.
Well, he
it was
didn't have a
shaved.
mullet, but he had a little bit of a
He had
like
like-
Caesar.
You know,
Don't say Caesar.
shorter than mine for sure.
Yeah.
But he had like a short haircut, and I was hoping The Rock would wear a wig in that movie.
Oh yeah, that was gonna happen.
But nonetheless, Jose, why do you think it did so bad with critics? Like, is this usual superhero movie like getting low rating scores like it usually does by critics? Because a lot of them do. Or is there something else? As Rock movies also don't do well with critics. Do you think like something like he did in his past, like maybe a former career he had, kind of gave him that carny rub?
Yeah, probably. Another thing that I was thinking it could be is fatigue, superhero fatigue, action fatigue. Now with movies like Wakanda Forever, it's coming out soon. It's gonna make $1 billion. It's more themed based, whereas this particular movie I hear is more action based, and it's really more of a loose plot. Let's see, action, adventure, CG effects, and what have you.
Well, he's supposed to be like the anti-hero, eventually becoming a hero, right? Something like
So
that.
like Batman again.
Well, no, apparently he's more of like a Deadpool, like without the mouth. Like he actually goes and kills people, and because
Or
for people who deserve it.
Kratos, is that the name? God of War, that guy.
J.R. Kratos from New Japan.
The video game from God of War.
I played that game like twice. I'll be honest. I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah, but I mean, I think it's the same general story. Kid gets killed, wife gets killed, out for revenge. We're the good guy, but we do, a lot of like evil stuff.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're right. Batman's, parents die, trained, avenge parents,
Yeah.
It's all the superheroes like return, or the hero's return, or something like that. That's called a story arc. The story arc of like this. Face a challenge.
The redemption of it. Yeah. So I think the critics are suffering from fatigue.
Yeah. Either way, Black Adam is fucking expected to make millions of dollars more.
I'm gonna watch it.
Oh, I mean, I'll watch it too. I mean, I don't know if I'll actually go to a theater to watch it, but I'll watch it eventually.
Oh no, these things rush into streaming services really, really fast nowadays.
Well, even look at
Well,
movies like the Halloween Ends movie that
yeah,
premiered
it's
on
already
both.
streaming.
Yeah, well, it had like a dual action premiere, which it like
Yeah.
did like 1 week in theaters, and the next week it was on streaming.
Yeah, yeah, and like Clerks 3, that's already streaming, I believe. Yeah, at least you can own it on digital.
Really? Oh wow!
At the very least, yeah.
I'm getting on that. I'm off tomorrow. I can stay up tonight and watch that.
There you go.
Either way, The Rock, he's making more of an impression on Hollywood. We'll see. I mean, fuck.
Yeah, and I heard that he's rebooting the DCU with this movie, so we'll see.
Well, yeah. Apparently, there is there's some cameos in the movie. I haven't heard much, but I heard there's some cameos. Once I saw cameos, like not.
I heard there was a very powerful
Yeah.
cameo.
It's is it Chris Jericho?
Yes. How did you know?
Fuck, I knew it. Well, I thought he was busy because Chris Jericho. Let's move on with some more news. Chris Jericho did sign an extension with AEW this week in a Variety exclusive. It was announced that Chris Jericho has signed a contract extension. This I don't know if this seems there's a little confusion over this because earlier this year, Fightful Select did report that he signed a contract extension in February, extending to 2024. Now his contract is extended to 2025. Either way, he is now in AEW until 2025. The Ring of, what I call him, which he should be called, the Ring of Dishonor champion.
Yeah.
That's way better than the Ring of Jericho.
Yeah.
Or whatever the fuck he's calling it. It's dumb, Jericho. Sorry. Ring of Dishonor. Anyways, I love you, buddy. Anyways, as well as extending his contract, Jericho will be taking on more responsibilities in the company, similar to Jon Moxley's announced when he signed his contract extensions a few weeks ago.
I would say it's a step further, even deeper finger into the company. Yeah.
Well, I think Tony Khan, like we said a couple weeks ago about Moxley, I think Tony Khan is implementing more guidelines and more of a backstage culture and what he wants as a backstage culture in AEW. Implementing people like Jon Moxley and Chris Jericho as kind of the locker room leaders, you know? And I'm sure you have people like Sting who play an important part too.
Huge.
So
And there's some all these guys have in common, but continue.
But Jericho will serve as producer, creative advisor to the company, and as well as maintaining his role to a creative mentor to the younger talent. Jericho says, I guess, why not? He goes, things have been so well in the company, and I really do feel that this is my company. It's tattooed on my heart, so to speak. I've been here since day one, and there's really no reason for me to not continue any further.
Yeah.
Jericho also commented on the growing success of AEW. He says, when AEW first started, I think basically it was Chris Jericho and a group of very talented people that might not have been as well known. Within 3 months, that changed, and now within 3 years, we've all got at least a dozen, maybe 2 dozen of our own homegrown stars that came out of AEW television.
Mm-hmm.
So in a recent interview with Justin Barrasso of Sports Illustrated, AEW's Tony Khan, the CEO, Tony Khan, we know the guy. He gets into it with people online. Well, no, does he?
Nah, not really.
Not really.
Not that I've seen. Not as serious as some.
I guess I'm just thinking of Ariel Helwani a couple weeks ago.
Mm.
I was on a show though. But anyways, he talking about Jericho's contract extension. He was just saying how Jericho's been a consistent star for the company, and he finds a fresh take on everything he does. Praising Jericho. Now, Jose, this is, I believe, Jericho's either third contract in AEW or second contract extension, whatever. He's in it to win it in AEW. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So why isn't he playing the field in any way, any sort like? He could probably get a very lucrative deal if he was, played the field a little bit.
Yeah. Well, he answered the question himself. He went, why not? but also, why search for a big payday? He's done that. Been there, done that.
Yeah.
I think he feels he can actually contribute into the success of a company, maybe even inherit. I don't want to say inheriting, but he can actually become a co-owner of this adventure. He could use his knowledge that he gained throughout the years to expose AEW in a more WWE style.
Yeah.
That's what all these new guys have in common. You notice Sting,
Yeah.
John Moxley,
Yeah.
Chris Jericho. They all have that big time. I don't, Sting not so much, but he does have that, short,
Well, I mean,
exposure in
he
WWE. But
he wrestled mainstream for how many years? You know what I mean? Like he was at the top of the
on the
wrestling,
major,
the major leagues for how many
yeah,
years? In the 80s and 90s, he can contribute and say like, this is how it was at this time. These guys can say how it was at that time.
yeah. And
Especially,
this is,
well, hold on,
these
sorry,
three.
just to add to that,
Go ahead.
going from Sting, Jericho to Moxley, that is like bridges the generations.
True that. True that. And then let's compare with the executive vice presidents. They don't have that particular experience. Sure, they have some experience in New Japan, but that is a different marketplace. That's a different structure. That's just a different business altogether than the American, wrestling business,
Yeah,
so to speak. Yeah.
well, I mean, I don't know. Jericho, he's here to stay.
Get yours.
He's cool, man.
I'm
I
happy
like
for
it.
him. Yeah,
Good,
and it looks
good
like
for him.
it looks like he's not some bloodsucker that's just out for the check, right?
Yeah, he's not like he's going after it's not like he's like going after the title, trying to be the main champion every week. He's trying to reinvent himself.
Yeah, and he's genuinely got love for the company. It feels like to me.
He's got love for the industry, and I think one thing about Jericho is that he's going to do what he wants to do over a payday at this point. And I think that this has been happening for a long time because if you think about it, Jericho left WWE how many times to go on tour with Fozzy? How much money was he making in Fozzy compared to being in the WWE?
It couldn't be that much, right?
I mean, it may be compared to the work. You know what I mean? But no, I don't think he is. All right, he was. So he seems to me like he's going to go out and say, this is what's better for me. I think I should do this.
And maybe this is what's fun. He's having more fun doing what he's doing now, right?
Wrestling with Daniel Garcia and Bryan Danielson rather than, being in WWE and I don't know.
Doing some funny shit with Kevin Owens. Jokes. Cracking jokes.
Feuding backstage with, Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
Which actually probably would be very entertaining at this point.
It would be, yeah.
It would be very entertaining. Anyways, speaking of the Ring of Dishonor champion, Ring of Honor is expected to have a television deal soon.
Ooh.
In the same interview with Sports Illustrated, Tony Khan gave some hints at a future Ring of Honor television show. He says, we'll have some great news about a Ring of Honor show, a weekly show soon. Khan also stated, our goal is to have one more great pay-per-view for Ring of Honor in 2022 and then follow up with a weekly show in 2023. Jose, I really want to give Ring of Honor a chance, which I definitely will. But will a Ring of Honor weekly show completely flood the wrestling market?
Short answer, yes. No, but you know what I want to see? I want to see Ring of Honor maintain some of its regionality, if that's a word. I like it being a regional type of show. You know what I mean? Just an Atlantic show, East Coast show, and we have to watch it here on the West Coast via internet.
Yeah.
Via YouTube, make it hard to watch, make it hard to find. That gives it very, old school wrestling vibes.
If you want viruses,
I really dig.
Watch it,
well, I don't want no viruses, but I like the underground aspect of it. If it were to maintain that quality, right? Once it reaches nationally, it kind of loses that spirit, and I don't think Ring of Honor matches that.
And also, I don't think every wrestling company needs to aim to be on a national circuit like WWE,
And nobody can afford it like WWE.
And especially when one of the competitions is going to be your own company. How far does Tony Khan expect to grow Ring of Honor? Does he expect to grow it to the point of AEW and then he's competing with himself?
You know how hard that is to juggle?
Well, exactly.
Hard.
Playing chess with yourself. It's like you're I'm going to do this here. I'm going to do this here.
Yeah. And so he has, Dynamite, Rampage, Dark.
And then, even think about
Ring of Honor. Eesh.
even if he stepped back from both of them, he said, let's just theoretically, let's say Kenny Omega was given AEW
I
and
was just about to say that.
CM
Yeah.
Punk was given Ring of Honor. You know what I mean? But Tony
Mm-hmm.
Khan still owns both companies. Those
Mm-hmm.
guys are going to be battling against each other every week in the ratings.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
at a certain point, you kind of have to decide what tier everything's going to be on. And I think Ring of Honor might be even better served as like just maybe like some sort of like either like a Rampage and like instead, you know what I mean? Instead of Rampage or instead of Dark Elevation,
Right.
have Ring of Honor Dark, have
Mm-hmm.
Ring of Honor Rampage, because
Yeah.
fuck, Rampage isn't doing so well in the ratings anyways. You might
Well,
as
it's
well
Friday
use
night.
it. Well, you might as well use that time to get younger talent over in other ways, saying this is Ring of Honor. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And putting your more focus on your AEW people on Dynamite.
Mhm.
So,
But then you would have to make it a 3-hour show because that roster is stacked.
speaking of AEW Dynamite, this last week on Tuesday night Dynamite, because of
come on, yeah,
that damn baseball, right? It was baseball, right? Or was it hockey?
yeah, it's baseball.
Okay. Well,
Well, they're on they're on TBS
the Braves.
because of hockey, but now they're on Tuesday because of baseball.
Well, either way, this week on Dynamite, it was no laughing matter. I know I laughed at the programming matter, but Hangman Page suffered a concussion after taking a lariat from Jon Moxley in the main event and landing on his head after taking said fall. The refs called for the bell after he checked on Page and noticed he was quote-unquote snoring. Medical professionals were brought to the ring, and which eventually ended in him being stretchered out of the arena and taking first off backstage to check to see how he was, and then taking to a hospital. And like I said, he was diagnosed with a concussion, and there's not knowing when he'll be back, because one of the things about concussions is you can be out months, you could be out days.
Yeah.
It really all depends on your brain and how it recovers from it.
It could take you out for years.
But
ask Daniel Bryan Daniel.
Exactly.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. BD, DB, whatever the guy's name is. But yeah. Jose, you saw the match, right? You saw did you see the fall or?
I did, and it was the impact that he hit the mat, right? It wasn't the lariat itself,
exactly,
the lariat clothesline. I'm surprised his shoulder wasn't separated too, or his collarbone broken. I just saw the clip of Candice Michelle when I forgot who she was wrestling against, but she was climbing the top rope and they ran into the ropes that they do to make them fall, and her feet caught onto the turnbuckle in the corner, and same type of injury. But she shattered her collarbone in this instance, so much higher. But yeah, it's very similar. Yeah. I'm surprised she didn't mention anything about a concussion, because she did eat that floor when she was knocked out. I feel bad for Hangman. Just when I think he was going to start, riding a big push. Hopefully he gets back in the ring soon. Yeah. You never like it when somebody gets hurt.
It also, too, like, it really sucks when somebody gets concussed. But I feel like it also was kind of like, I don't know if it was blown out of proportion, but I feel like the second Moxley said, like, everyone pray for Hangman Page, everyone was like, oh my God, like, is he
effing crippled?
Is he crippled? Is he dead?
Yeah.
Is he gonna, what is going on here? And I think when that happened, it was like, everyone took to Twitter, even people like Big E is, praying for the Hangman. People all over WWE, AEW, New Japan, praying for the Hangman. City Wrestling Radio, hey, you got this, cowboy, praying for you, Hangman.
Yeah.
So I do think it was blown up a little bit when that happened, because it did happen on live TV and nobody knew what to do.
And what I actually went through my mind. I was like, why are they working this like this? And that was an evil thought. I'm sorry. Get out of here, Satan. Get out.
You know what was fucked up of me? Is you remember when AEW would do that fucking corny gimmick of like, this match didn't go as long as we expected, so we had this backup match in place all nights, not to have a backup match. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
So like, you're like, oh fuck it, Daniel Garcia, Daniel Bryan, get out there real quick, go wrestle until the show's over.
Yeah, and you remember all those weird cuts that they took throughout the ending, where they kept not showing Hangman on purpose,
Yeah.
that gave me work vibes. I'm being worked over here. What the hell?
Yeah. 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 Well,
But I'm glad to hear he's doing okay.
glad to hear he's doing okay because, yeah, man, got a lot of people scared in the world of professional wrestling.
Yeah, man.
And,
Oh, and they already have a rep of being like, the spot spot
yeah,
spot
and I
botch.
just feel like it's more.
Capital.
It's just more and more like bad times in AEW. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, they don't need any more.
and I think it's like it's this scale. You know what I mean? Because you got your good and you got your bad. You got like people like Moxley and Jericho taking on roles where they're going to lead the company and kind of lead the locker room and the locker room mentality. But you also got the side of people getting concussed. Back in the day, remember Matt Hardy had that weird fall after jumping off the ladder on Sammy Guevara.
Yeah, that was insane.
So it's a lot. The whole the Punk stuff, the Elite stuff.
And then the Thunder Rosa stuff.
The Thunder Rosa stuff, people trying to say that she's faking, the whole thing. People calling her out on TV, with Britt Baker saying things like, oh, I'll be, world champion, not the interim champion. We'll talk about that another time.
Yeah.
To me, it's just, it's weird. There's a lot of stuff I feel like that wasn't really thought out and wasn't really prepared. And I guess it's things you really can't prepare for, but it's things that would have been learned if Tony Khan would have started smaller. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if he would have started with a Ring of Honor and then built his way up to a company like AEW and then build a company like AEW in the future. Because, I mean, let's face it, like he's a billionaire fan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And he's very smart at what he does. He's in sports analytics for a reason. He's great at what he does, but at the same time, like he wasn't like a Bill Watts. He wasn't a Vince McMahon. He wasn't a Vern Gagne. All these people that ran companies for years and years and years. You know what I mean? So
yeah, and minor companies. You know what I mean? Local shows. We're talking Cow Palace. Serving 200 people.
Exactly. He wasn't a Roy Shire. But nonetheless, I mean, I think Tony Khan is stepping up his game there. But there has been this week about some more news with AEW about, like I said, CM Punk and the potentially his contract being bought out by AEW because the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer commented on the potential departure of CM Punk, like I said, stating that he's in talks to get his contract bought out. So the only thing that they're trying to work out right now is the non-compete clause, apparently. Yeah. And I think that's a little strange because, like, how many years of a non-compete are they going to give him? Because
the remainder of his contract, maybe?
I mean, I would say so. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, you want to sit out for 2 or 3 years and get paid, or it could even be another year because he did sign a year ago.
Right.
So, well, what do you think about CM Punk?
Well, this perfectly leads into a new segment that I want to bring about. I want to name it, Is It Over? Now, is it over? Could take a double meaning, triple meaning, quadruple meaning, however you want to take it. Is it over in a good way? Is it over in a bad way? In this case with CM Punk, is it over as in, is Triple H interested in hiring him, knowing his history of attitude? They've had some bad blood on screen. Was it off screen? Maybe. Vince McMahon didn't like the guy.
No.
And now he's, burning bridges at AEW.
And I think he actually had more of a conflict with Triple H than he did with Vince McMahon.
Yeah. So we know he's over with the fans. We know that.
Absolutely.
We know he's especially over in Chicago.
But I also think he's being very focused on one kind of fan base right now.
Yeah.
There's a certain type of CM Punk fan right now.
Yeah, but you know what you need to concentrate is attracting the fan of the owners of the companies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So is it over for CM Punk? Is he now going to be an indie darling once again? Or do you think he'll be back with, Triple H has been known to squash beefs. Will he overlook the past and hire him in hopes of attracting more money? Do they need him?
Well, does CM Punk need the money? You know what I mean? There's a reason why he came back to AEW.
There's a reason why he came back. Yeah.
Especially after doing the UFC, doing the comic book stuff. It wasn't just hey please, it wasn't just an itch. There had to be other reasons. And I'm not sitting here saying that CM Punk was like broke and he needed to come back. I'm not saying that at all. It could have just been like, oh well, I mean, I could put this in this account and then move this here and then I could use it.
Yeah, totally. Oh no, I can't afford 3 nannies. I gotta cut back to 1.
Exactly. I don't think he has kids.
I'm just saying.
I think him and April are childless.
Oh,
it might be by choice. It might be by choice. I don't know.
The nannies for their dogs.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they have Larry, the dog. But no, I don't know if Triple H would want to bring. I mean, he would. He would want that promo of CM Punk coming, and he would come back, to Cult of Personality. Everyone would freak out. He would come out saying, "Oh, I'm back here with the big boys play," because he would say something like that, referring to the time when he said, "I work in a company with all children," when he was in the AEW press conference. So having that moment,
it'll be also a dig at Triple H, who once worked with WCW, aka where the big boys played, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So I could see Triple H wanting that, and I could see Stephanie and Nick Khan. And what's CM Punk's relationship with Nick Khan? We don't know that at this point. He could.
It might be 0.
Yeah, and I don't see him having a great relationship with Tony Khan.
No.
So
he burned that bridge down to the crisp.
So CM Punk in WWE, I say no. I say it's over. His relationship with WWE is over. It's done.
Yeah, I agree with you. His pro wrestling career, with these 2 companies, it's over. Sorry.
Yeah,
it was good while it lasted, right?
Yeah. Anything else you want to say about CM Punk, or
no? That's we got it covered.
We need like a sound
This
effect.
has been, is it over?
Yeah, one thing about Superstars 1994, which was horrible, is fucking Johnny Polo Raven is one of the commentators.
Yes. Oh my god.
And and they talk about him being on WWF radio, and at one episode he has like a sound effects machine, and Vince McMahon was like, "Oh, that's a sound effects machine that Johnny Polo has. That's not really the police coming for us."
Oh my god. You can watch us on the Picto Box.
Yeah. It was bad. Anyways, let's move on with some more news. Some more news about some royalty, because this week Dave Meltzer reported that this week WWE is kind of interested in bringing back the King of the Ring back as a pay-per-view, a premium live event, as some would call it. Meltzer says, yeah, there is a talk of bringing back the King of the Ring with a show featuring both the King and Queen of the Ring. Now, Jose, in the era of wrestling where there's a championship, a trophy, or a briefcase at pretty much every turn, how does the King of the Ring hope to stand out, and who can benefit from this?
I mean, it's going to be the same shtick, right? It's a rare instance where a king or a queen now, that actual gimmick lasts long, right?
But it's so annoying though. Like
it is, but usually these things only last a couple months. Usually, like the last time you saw Zelina, what was she doing? She wasn't wearing a crown.
That's actually not true, because this past week she was wearing this like crown thing on her head. But I see what
tiara is different from a crown.
I see what you're saying here. Yes, she's not doing
King Xavier. When did we stop doing that? A long time.
He got injured, and then when he came back from injury, he stopped doing the.
And that was like what, 3 months tops.
But that does say him and Kofi were doing the whole king and king's hand thing.
And somebody like these two were perfect for the role. They were going to take that, to the moon. Unfortunately, Xavier got hurt. But who do you all see being able to carry that, the King Booker type of thing? Look, it's a rare talent to do that. Yeah. We're going to see, the regular old King for 2 months. It's something to put on your resume.
King Braun,
King
Omos,
you'll see that for a month. Yeah.
I don't think you'll see like a King Lashley. King
No,
Gargano. No.
this is totally a mid card,
King
mid to
Miz.
lower.
Yeah, King
Yeah,
Miz.
not even King Miz. I think Miz is above that.
I don't know, man. I could see Miz coming out every week, not with like he'd come out with a very stylish A list, but then like a bejeweled, like very fancy cape and scepter.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah,
You know,
I can
kind
see
of
that. And then
a
him
Hollywood A-lister, but also,
and challenging the royal family, like I'm better than them. That'd be kind of cool, actually.
well, there we go.
Yeah, see, thanks. You're welcome, Triple H.
There we go. Let's move on to some, well, not so cool news. I got an update on Cain Velasquez, or Cain Velasquez. Like, how do I pronounce it again? Cain Velasquez.
Velasquez, you said
Velasquez,
right.
yeah.
Mhm.
Now we normally don't cover MMA news on this podcast, but it's Cain Velasquez, and he's done wrestling. So the pretrial
If you
hearing,
can call it that, yeah.
he's wrestled
yeah,
in
he's
AAA.
legit.
He's wrestled in,
Yeah, he's legit. I like his mask.
Yeah. The pretrial hearing for the former UFC heavyweight champion in Santa Clara has been delayed because the defense needed more time to review information about the attempted murder. Cain Velasquez faces multiple charges of allegedly shooting at a car with a man accused of molesting his 4-year-old son. The bullet missed. Velasquez was targeting 43-year-old Harry Larty. Oh, sorry, Goularty. And instead hit his stepfather in the arm. Missed Goularty. Prosecutors say the new pretrial hearing will be November 7th. Velasquez remains behind bars while Goularty, or whatever his fucking name is out on bail. Facing with felony charges of lewd acts with a child. Anything you want to add?
Look, I'm kind of biased here. I'm a father of 2 kids. If I have proof that this happened to any of my kids, this would be a different story altogether. I'd be locked up already. I'd be booked, and I don't want to get too far into it, but I protect my kids. Let's put it that way.
Cut to 10 years from now when they're using this at a murder trial. Because you murdered somebody.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is performance art.
Because somebody got murdered at a gas station, you were nearby, and they're like, "Well, you were nearby, and they said you'd murder somebody." So
no. I'm going to take the Tucker Carlson plea and say that this is a character. I'm playing a character. I'm portraying someone.
The Hogan. Brother, I don't have a 10-foot penis, brother.
Yeah. I'm doing performance art.
Yeah.
This is what this is.
No, I think I agree with you, and I think a lot of people agree with you, Jose, because a lot of people I've talked to, in the wrestling fan base, I think even a lot of people I talk to outside in the news business say, yeah, dude, it's a fucked up situation because a lot of people would feel for him at this point. At the same time, you can't go around shooting people
yeah, exactly. I mean,
like that also brings into question Velasquez's mental stability, him taking the law into his own. But at the same time, I agree with it. I can see what everyone's saying.
Yeah, and this type of situation can spur a temporary a mental instability, temporary insanity, right?
Yeah.
Is Cain locked up right now, or he's out, right?
No, he's locked up.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Yeah, he's locked up. He's still awaiting trial. He's still behind bars.
That's cold. That's cold.
He should be out on trial on bail at this point.
Bail, yeah, totally.
But I don't know why they've denied bail for him.
It's not like he has history of this, yeah.
And I don't think he poses. Well, he does pose the risk of leaving. He has the money to leave, but
that's true. But you could easily take away his passport. Done deal.
Well, let's move on because we got some more real life news to talk about. This brings us to Jeff Hardy, who also, as many of us know, has been caught up in his own legal issues as of late. Following Jeff Hardy's DUI arrest in June, Hardy has been awaiting his trial, and now his pre-trial has been delayed yet again. Hardy's attorney filed a motion to delay the pre-trial with a new date being set for Thursday, November 17th. So him and Cain are both being in their trials 10 days apart. Court docs show that Hardy's attorneys provided extensive mitigation materials, which I had to look up what that fucking meant. I still barely know what it means. And the prosecution needs more time to review the material. Jose, anything you want to say about Jeff Hardy?
Good luck in your troubles, buddy.
Yeah, because the whole Matt Hardy's doing you know, the stuff with what's it with the firm now, right?
I think so. I don't know.
So
Yeah, I saw him. I saw him. When was it? Yesterday. Yes, yesterday on my DVR. Yeah, you're right. I think he opened up Rampage or something.
yeah, so yeah, Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
Good luck to you, buddy.
Good luck to Jeff Hardy. I hope like I said before, I hope he gets the help he needs because
Yeah, speedy recovery, bro.
he seems like he's sucks to battle demons. And we all battle
or
our own
may-
demons.
Yeah, maybe we don't want a speedy recovery. Maybe we want a long, drawn out one.
Yeah, and maybe the wrestling industry is just not for him. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
try something else. Doing whittling,
Because
I heard you're in a rock band. Maybe write more songs.
I heard you ever see his gardens?
No.
Like he does these extravagant garden. Like he does like hedge trimming and
yeah, I saw
he
the
does like the
Hardy Boy symbol.
the
remember?
Hardy designs. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's really good at that. He's
Mm-hmm.
like a talented artist. And I think things like that, with wrestling, if it's something that's going to cause you to fall back into your
Habits.
your past habits,
Yeah.
especially when people are now coming out and complaining about you, like Darby Allin did, saying that he felt like he was going to die in his match with Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
That says something about you and what's going on in your life. And just take a deep breath, take a step back.
And we all have triggers. Wrestling could be Jeff Hardy's trigger.
Yeah. Let's move on with some news across the sea. Well, I guess it's across the sea and this side of the sea. New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's kind of both New Japan news and WWE news.
True that.
Because last week we reported, we were talking about Carl Anderson, being in both New Japan and WWE now, being the current holder of the Never Openweight championship. And we were speculating what's going to happen. But on Monday night, we found out that he is indeed being booked for WWE Crown Jewel on November 5th. We thought, last week I think you said, he won't show up at Crown Jewel. He'll show up at the Autumn Struggle show. And apparently that's not going to happen. And it's not going to happen in any way, shape, or form, because he took to a video earlier this week saying that he was double booked and the New Japan show was never checked with him. Like, they never checked with him about the show.
Hey, buddy, if it was advertised, it was booked.
But it was advertised for weeks. And
If it was advertised, it was booked.
Okay, look, I don't know if it was like weeks as in like 4 or 5 weeks, but I knew about it. They came, we recorded on Sunday. They came back the Monday before, and we knew about it all week. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So he knew about it all week long. But New Japan Pro Wrestling president Nakami Obari, I am horrible with names from other, horrible with names in general, says
You are.
They are.
You like my name pretty good.
Well, I do it every single week.
Yeah.
They're doing everything they can to ensure all matches listed at the New Japan Pro Wrestling November 5th show in Osaka take place as advertised. Because, like I said, the Never Openweight champion Carl Anderson was scheduled to defend his title against Hikuleo at the show. Anderson later announced that match for Crown Jewel. The Good Brothers released a video claiming that New Japan never confirmed the show with them. Obari took to social media on Saturday to say that they are working to ensure that all matches take place and that all wrestlers honor their advertised commitments.
Mm-hmm.
He says, quote, "We are doing all we can to ensure every signed match in Osaka on November 5th happens as promised. We expect all wrestlers, especially champions, to honor their advertised commitments." Carl Anderson's like, "Oh, I think you're talking to me, fucker, aren't you?" Obari also told Tokyo Sports in an interview last week that he is, quote, now hear me out, he's, quote, angry about the situation involving Anderson in the Never Openweight Championship. Hikuleo directed his post-match comments Saturday towards Anderson and the situation involving the Never Openweight Championship. He says, quote, "You think you forgot about me? I've got a lot on my plate here too, but I can make time for you. What are you scared of, Carl Anderson? The second non-Japanese person to make the finals of the G1? scared of someone who's just coming back from learning excursion. The former, you're scared of the former IWGP Tag Team Champion? Scared of someone who's only had 2 matches?
Championship match.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Title match. Yeah, right. Yeah. Reading off my phone, so.
Yeah.
But anyways, so, Carl Anderson, what the fuck is going on, Jose? What's going to happen? What, I mean, we're going to be watching, we're watching Crown Jewel this year. We're watching it this year, Jose.
Jesus.
We have to. It is our commitment to the wrestling universe.
You know what? I'll watch it just for this particular situation because you could still turn this into a AJ and Gallows versus Finn and Priest, right?
Yeah,
you could easily do that.
Absolutely.
You could just X out Mysterio. You don't need Dom in there. He's probably going to be a hindrance anyway.
Well, Mysterio also being moved to Mysterio. What are you talking about? Oh, you saying Dominic? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean you're absolutely right. You could take Dominic out of the match. He can hang out with his mommy ringside, and
totally.
There you go.
Or what a way to ruin a budding relationship, or what could be a very mutually financial benefiting relationship. You're burning a bridge with. This is the show of burning bridges. We should title it that. You're burning a bridge with New Japan here.
Yeah, last week I could say I got a little excited. I said, "Oh, they're blowing up the fucking cement walls. New Japan's coming in. WWE's going over there. This is what's about to happen." And now Obari's just like, "Yeah, fuck you guys."
Yeah.
What the hell, man?
He's pretty much pretending that everybody's a zombie and he's trapped inside a house, so he's boarding up the forbidden door.
Yeah.
But no one gets in or out.
And I wonder, what's going to happen. What this will cause to happen with other relationships with New Japan.
Yeah, totally. Oh, we could see that forbidden door in AEW open wide open.
Yeah. So let's move on to our final topic of today, because next week is our yearly Halloween show, but this week it's Halloween Havoc 2022. And for some reason, my light just flickered, and now it's kind of cool right when I said Halloween 2022.
Oh, perfect.
Ooh, scary.
Dude, those effing ghosts in your fucking apartment.
Maybe the Watcher really is in my house. I don't know.
Jeez, don't say that. Knock on wood.
Hello, Mr. Smith. Anyways, let's get into it. I watched a show earlier today.
I sped watch it.
You watched what you could. We kicked off with Wes Lee becoming the new North American champion in a fatal 5-way ladder match. I mean, this is a pretty great match overall. This is 19 minutes and 55 seconds. It was just pretty much a party match from start to finish. These guys nonstop. And I think a lot of the guys in this match, because going into the match, I was kind of like, oh, Wes, I don't know. I feel like I've been watching NXT, but I haven't really been invested. So people like Carmelo Hayes, I know of. Wesley, I know of. All these people I know of, but I'm just I have no interest in watching them. If someone was like, next week, Von Wagner versus Oro Mensah, I'd be like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
And, after the match, I'm just like, wow. They all kind of stood out. It reminded me of the time when the first North American ladder match happened. I believe it was in Dallas, I believe. Don't quote me on where it was, but it was, I believe, for WrestleMania, and it was EC3, Lars Sullivan, Adam Cole, the Velveteen Nightmare, people like that. So just everyone that was on fire at the time in WWE NXT was in the match, and it was a fucking fantastic match. That's what this reminded me of. A lot of great moves from start to finish. Then we move on with the NXT. Yeah.
Just really quick to add, I really missed the addition. I think it could have been great with Acción. I know they call him something different, but come on. It's Spanish for action.
For who?
Acción.
Okay.
Acción.
Okay.
I think they call him Acción. Nah, his name is Acción. Okay. It's action. But yeah, if he was there, this could have been a super amazing match, a la tables, ladders, chairs type of match. But I enjoyed this. It was fun. I dug it.
Next up, there was a weird segment. I guess it wasn't weird. It's Halloween Havoc. It's NXT.
Yeah, it's in the vein of Undertaker and his Undertaker and AJ's.
Well,
What was that match called?
the graveyard match.
Yeah,
The
it was in that
it was the
vein,
boneyard match, right? Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so okay, and the blood of NXT 2.0 is still pumping through one of the veins of NXT. They're still detoxing those colors out of them. Because this was very NXT 2.0-y. So it started off with Mandy Rose and Gigi Dolan and Persia Pirotta seeing a video of Alba Fire at a haunted house, saying like, "Oh, come and get me." And she's sitting there. She literally, her face is paint. She looks like the daughter of Thunder Rosa and Pumpkin Balor.
Oh my God, you're so right.
Because
Yes,
she's
you're
got
right.
like half her face painted like Thunder Rosa, but it's also like it's like a pumpkin. So it's like that time that Finn Balor,
Jack-o'-lantern.
yeah, remember when it was like Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt, but Bray Wyatt was that weird version of Sister Abigail or whatever, or like whatever it was at the time. So they go to the haunted mansion or the haunted house. I don't want to say haunted mansion. I don't want to get sued by the mouse. And it was just corniness from start to finish. A lot of people. It was like it looked like a fake Halloween haunted house with a lot of people like working it, like people dressed up as zombies. But they were also trying to
exactly what it was. Yeah.
But they were also trying to attack them. You know what I mean? Like some of them were trying to grab them and pull them in, but then some of them were just hanging out. And Gigi Dolan, she's fucking loving it. She's walking through like, "Hey guys, what's up? Uh-oh, scary movie stuff. Uh-oh, da-da-da-da."
What are you drinking? I want some of that.
Yeah.
No, I don't want none of that. Yeah.
And it's funny too, because I was just watching this. I was just like, oh my, I was rolling my eyes so hard at it. But eventually, Alba Fire does take out all of Toxic Attraction, and then gets Mandy in the car, eventually brings her back to the Performance Center. There's a Chase U segment where Andre Chase is teaching the history of Halloween Havoc.
Dude, I fast forward through all of Chase U segments
it's corny
all the time.
It's corny.
So I don't even know what it is.
It's corny, but at the same time,
I don't like it at all.
It's kind of funny.
Have you ever seen Revenge of the Nerds?
Yeah.
Yeah, these guys are totally
that's what they're going for.
Yeah, and I'm not a fan.
All right.
So what are my nerds? Give me my nerds back.
But Duke Hudson is now transferred to Chase U.
Transferred. Yeah. His transcripts included in transfer.
Whoa. But he doesn't get a shirt yet. So, anyways, next up, Apollo Crews defeating Grayson Waller in a casket match was it was a dumb match. Okay, so the first half of the match was just them brawling around the ring for about 5 to 10 minutes because it's only
landing in dumpsters and stuff. Yeah,
this is only about 11 minutes long. So before the match started, they brought a casket out, and it wasn't like a huge casket, but it was a smaller casket. I'll say that. It was like a flimsy block casket. And it was like these druids who brought it out because, this match was a spin the wheel, make the deal match, and they got casket match. So as the match was going on, they were on the ring post, and Apollo Crews gets pushed off and pushed into the casket, breaking the lid.
Whoops.
So everyone is just like, what do we do? And I don't know. It had to have been planned because they had that second casket come out. But Booker T is going off saying, no, he should win. He should be the winner. The top is broken. He is in the casket. Like, you know what I mean?
He's not wrong.
What if he was like, hey, open the casket, and then he pushed it in? I don't know. I thought that was really dumb. The way they just overlooked that.
Can we just say that Booker T was in rare form tonight?
You think he was good?
He was in rare form. He was hilarious. He was hilarious without wanting to be hilarious.
I do love the few times he goes, "That's a shucky duggy quack quack moment." I'm like, you're not letting go, Booker. I love it.
Yeah.
So and then after that happened, then the Druids all of a sudden the lights go out, and then Apollo Crews is out of that casket and standing with the Druids, and they're bringing a larger casket down. And I'm like, oh, okay. What? Okay. So does he work with the Druid? What is going on here?
Another lousy gimmick for Apollo Crews.
So, I don't know. Anyways, at the end of the match, saw him winning by getting Waller into the casket. because that's how you win a casket match.
Yeah,
Apparently,
if Apollo Crews is going to turn into an underfaker, dude, and this is going to suck.
this was only the fourth casket match to take place not featuring the Undertaker.
In like all of wrestling, I believe it.
Well, in all of WWE for sure.
Yeah.
Next up, Roxanne Perez defeated Cora Jade in a Weapons Wild match. Where, okay, now hear me out. The rules: the only way you're able to win this match is by pinfall or submission.
I mean, how is that supposed to work?
So it's a Weapons Wild match. It's a fucking no DQ match.
Yeah.
It was not good. I didn't like it at all. It was just them battling around the ring. Eventually, they got onto that perch on the top, and then they, Roxanne Perez.
That was a weird spot, right?
Yeah, where Roxanne Perez kind of was like, "Okay, I'm gonna punch Cora Jade off," and Cora's like, "Please don't hurt me," and she's like, "All right, I'm not gonna hurt you," but then like Cora just like pulled her in and they like hugged and fell off together.
We're both gonna go.
Yeah, and I was like, okay. I mean, I get it as friends. It's like, okay, we fell together for our first giant fall was together. Yeah, we did it. But at the same time, like on TV, I'm like, this is dumb.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I'll give it up to what's her name, Roxanne Perez, for her homage to Pennywise, the clown, with her gear. I don't know if you caught that, but it was.
I didn't catch that.
She had the,
now that you mentioned it, I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah, she had the eye makeup, not big time, but just a little bit. Next up, Julius Creed defeated Damon Kemp in an ambulance match.
Yeah, I super sped watched that one.
It was an okay match. I don't know. It was just a lot of like, it was kind of like similar to the Weapons Wild match where it was just like constant use of weapons the entire match. There was one spot though where Damon Kemp put Julius Creed into the. Oh, also if Julius Creed loses, his brother gets fired. So Julius Creed gets thrown into the ambulance, and Damon Kemp's about to. He slams the door shut, but Julius has his fingers out, covering the edge of the other door, so the door smashes on his hands.
Oh no!
And then he has his hand out, and then Kemp is smashing, not even like holding and slamming, but like slamming it into his hand.
I hope that's one of those Party City fake hands.
Over and over again, and I was just like that. I was looking at like I can see suplexes and power bombs all day, and be like, okay, but that I was like, ouch.
Yeah,
I feel that on this end. But then in the end of the match, Julius Creed gives Damon Kemp 10 chair shots, which invoked a 10 chant by the fans.
Imagine that. That's a very popular
First
chant
off,
nowadays.
we didn't even bring up Ty Dillinger's back in AEW. Not Ty Dillinger, but he's now Sean Spears, the Perfect 10. What the fuck is that? Like, he's just reverting to a WWE gimmick?
Yeah.
Which I love. I love that he's back as the Perfect 10. Whatever. Fuck it.
Yeah. And no, but then we have number 10 doing to the crowd.
Yeah. So, what's funny? I made one of those signs too, the 10 sign. So I was like, 10. 10. It is a great chant. Anyways.
Yeah, it is.
It's weird. So it was 10 chair shots to to Damon Kemp, followed by a power bomb into the gurney, and then a chair shot. It was like the chair shot was in the forearm, and he hit him with it, and then carried him out, put him in the ambulance, won the match. So Brutus gets to stay in AEW.
Good for you.
Next up, the NXT Women's Championship match. So as that ambulance was driving, the car with Mandy Rose and Alba Fire roll up. They battle outside of the PC. They battle inside. They battle to the ring. Toxic Attraction, who were left at the fucking haunted house, apparently got an Uber over to the PC.
No, they drove. They had their own car, remember?
No, they didn't. Their car was stolen, I thought.
Oh,
I thought that they all rolled up in that same SUV, and then Alba took Mandy with the SUV. So maybe Alba had a car.
Oh, yeah. Maybe they caught Uber. They had their phones. They're good.
Yeah.
And the camera guy was there, so he had to have
that's
a car,
true. He's
right?
like, oh no, you guys want to take the production truck?
You guys want to ride?
You guys want to ride in the production truck? We're getting pizza on the way. You guys want a slice?
You have to ride in the back with Spot though, and he's been feeling kind of sick.
I would love if WWE, like the PC, had a dog. I would want to know all about that dog.
Yeah.
It would have to be like a Dalmatian, I feel like.
Oh, like a firehouse?
Yeah, like a firehouse dog. But yeah, they battle in the ring, and yeah, Mandy Rose wins after Toxic Attraction. They interfere. They pull the referee out, and then Mandy Rose hits her V trigger. I will say Mandy Rose. I will always stick by Mandy Rose. I think she's a fabulous wrestler. I know she's not like the great. She's not like a Daniel Garcia or a Wheeler Yuta or even Daniel Bryan Cesaro. She's not one of those. But
she's not technically sound.
But everything she does spot wise, that V trigger she does, which I'm calling the Rose trigger, it fucking looks great. You know what I mean? Every spot she's ever put forward, it looks really good. And she's going a little slower than everyone else, but damn it, she's fucking great. Like,
yep, she could talk up a storm too.
And she likes what she does. You can tell she's into the gimmick, and she's into wrestling, and she's into her job. So.
Yeah, not so much when she was being left adrift in the main roster. She definitely has new life to her.
Yeah.
She's definitely a different person that she was on Tough Enough. Do you remember that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And did you ever see that there was that video of her, like, where they came from, and like it was like went to like her parents' like gelato shop or whatever it was, like some deli.
Right.
And there was just all these like, hey, forget about it, Mandy, what you doing? You coming back home? It's like, hey, shut up, what you doing? I'm filming over here. It's like, oh, I want some capiola. Sorry, that's probably offensive, but nonetheless, it's kind of what happened,
Yeah. No, I'm a fan.
So yeah, Mandy Rose continue, and there's a reason why she's champion. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, man. Right now she's one of the hottest things NXT has,
and it's not even like because she's hot, and a lot of people are gonna chalk it up to that. You know what I mean? Which is fucked up to say, because I think everyone on TV is hot, like in one form or another. Like,
that's a prerequisite if you're going to be on TV, right?
Yeah, like everyone looks good. You know what I mean? And so it's just like, to me, it's a little dumb to say like, oh, she's hot. That's where she got. There's plenty of hot women in wrestling that aren't at the top of the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's a reason why Eva Marie is not around, even though I'm a fan.
Well, I mean, nonetheless, whoever they are, there's a lot of women who are very good looking who aren't at the top. So that's not why Mandy Rose is at the top. It's because she's put forward so much effort over her career. She is harnessing who she is. And I think she really does have a potential to be a legend in this industry.
She has this Trish Stratus quality, yeah.
And she's not. And yeah, think of Trish Stratus. She started out, she was horrible. She eventually put in the time, put in the effort, learned the craft, I think Mandy Rose could benefit from some more technically sound stuff. Maybe some training with somebody like a QT Marshall, like a, Bryan Danielson, like a whoever, you know what I mean?
Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, even Shawn Michaels. Well, I mean, he did train Daniel Bryan, so I can't really say anything. Anyways. But yeah, I think she could really benefit from that. And yeah, I think she's great.
And she's doing great as is right now.
Yeah.
I'm happy with her work.
So the main event saw Braun Breaker defeating Ilya Dragunov and JD McDonough in 25 minutes. And everyone, this was a great match. I just don't know why I didn't get into it. It was just like, they're just... It was
because the characters are dull.
And it was like the typical... like WWE three-way where one person would battle one person, they would stop, that person would fall down, then they would focus on the other person. That first person would fall down, then that second person would fight the third person, so on and so forth. And it's just like, okay, I get it. So
yeah, paint by the numbers, right?
Yeah. So at the end of the match, saw Braun Breaker defeating JD McDonough to retain the title. And it just begs the question, what's next? And earlier in the week, we saw Austin Theory make his not his re-debut in NXT, but he hinted at a Money in the Bank cash-in on the NXT title. And didn't that happen? Charlotte Flair. Did that happen with her? She said she wanted a shot at the NXT women's title.
I don't remember.
A couple of years back,
yeah, it sounds familiar.
And so that's when she cashed in against Rhea Ripley, and they had the shot at WrestleMania.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I could definitely see Austin Theory. Then that's way more believable than him cashing in on Roman Reigns.
Yeah. It's just a wasted briefcase.
At that point, it definitely is, because and I can see him winning the title, and I wouldn't Personal issues with Austin Theory aside, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. But like you said, it's believable. It's more believable than main roster cash in.
yeah, and that's what you need. I don't want to see, I don't want to see Austin Theory win the Universal title.
No.
No,
Or the world title. No.
Yeah. Actually, it would be funny if he cashed in at Saudi Arabia and pinned Logan Paul.
Oh my God.
That would be great.
Oh my God.
I
mean, that'd be a good way to separate the titles too, because that really, I
They need to.
how do you feel about? I don't want to change the subject, but
No,
how do
I
you
mean,
feel about the U.S. title being the main title on Raw?
Dumb.
Right?
Yeah.
And they're totally propping it up to be like that. That's why they made it so big.
I mean, Seth Rollins is holding it now. I did like when the U.S. title was one of the main titles, not like the main, but like when John Cena held it and was doing that U.S. Open Challenge every week. That was super exciting, especially when you had people like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn coming from NXT to challenge him for the title.
Yeah.
So, and one, like, that match he had with Sami Zayn, it was a fucking incredible match. Although Sami Zayn did injure himself in the match. You know what I mean? Kevin Owens taking credit from it earlier in the week. But, I don't know. I think they need to separate those titles. I think there's too many titles just in general in wrestling right now. Just all around. Like I said earlier, everywhere you turn, dude, there's like a briefcase. There's a trophy. There's a contract. There's a fucking clipboard. There's a
poker chip.
There's a poker chip. There's, I don't even know. Yeah, in Impact, you win a title and you can cash that in.
There is currently a Japanese title called Never Open. Wait. Being held by a WWE.
Yeah. And, to me, it's just like, what the fuck does that mean? Never open weight?
Dude, I've been saying that since the beginning.
What? So, and with them, and they created the IWGP Women's title, which I think was overdue.
Sure.
That being said, they just showed the design of it, and it's that ugly, like, early 90s design that looked like the IWGP title. That looked like a crown.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
It's really
bad. What are you going to do?
If you're watching, because we're back on YouTube, we mentioned that a couple times at the beginning of the show. You'll see if I remember to add it in, because I need to relearn the new updated version of Audition.
Jesus.
Well, nonetheless,
use YouTube.
There we go.
Perfect.
Apparently, YouTube's getting Handle soon.
Really?
I don't know, but check us out. Apparently, at City Wrestling Radio on YouTube.
Apparently.
Check out all the links if you found us through social media. Our link tree takes you to all of our links. Our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, because we post a lot of news on Instagram. I know Instagram kind of sucks, and not a lot of people go there, which I think is kind of weird. But I thought people still went there.
A lot of people go there.
Okay.
A lot of people go there.
Check us out, because we post a lot of news to Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. At City Wrestling Radio, at CWR415. I think we're done for this week. Let's get out of here. I'm Korey Smith.
I'm Ocegueda.
And we will see you next week. Have a wonderful week. Peace out. Good luck. And, goodbye. Take care.
Good night, everyone.
Sorry, the video makes me nervous. Bye.